So welcome if you joined us. As you can see, if you are looking at the live stream at the moment, it is Russia. Just a quick reminder, obviously you can go to the website, pick up what you need, as well as the Facebook page, and we'll give you as much information around our South African Academy Online Racing. And as I mentioned, a lot to do. Today we are in Russia, and a lot is going on at the moment, so it's great to have that. There's a bit of rain out there for this particular race, so that is going to be very interesting. We have approximately 11 drivers this evening, so that's going to be exciting. Yes, the weather is going to play an important role in the qualification round. It's quali number 1, and then we'll go on to quali number 2, then 3, and those going through at the moment to make that happen. In the course of this evening, I'll be giving you a little bit of an update on who is where and what, and I can tell you now, if we have a look, still on top of the leaderboard is the Williams, and followed by Toro Rosso team, and then obviously going down the line. So lots to see and lots to do. Force India there as well, and that just gives you a quick overview of what is happening. So let's see where we are at the moment. A lot of the individuals in the pits waiting for that setup. Looks as though somebody's ready to go, so we'll have a look and see who is going to be out there driving along at the moment and where they are going to be this evening. Here we are on board with the Sackman. Nice to see him back. He was ill last week, so hopefully he's going to be doing well this evening. He had a back injury last week, so he couldn't drive, but this evening he's back with us, so great to have him on board with us this evening. And who else is out? Nice to see Steph back in the seat, so that's great for all of us at the moment. And it seems that Weza, who won the Grand Prix last week, is with us this evening, so that's great stuff as well. Just giving you an indication, yes, here is De Wit. He's out on track at the moment. Looks as though he hasn't gone for any different wheel formation at the moment, and I will give you the opportunity to see what wheels are fitted. Looks like he's got the Hyper Softs on, as well as Staff has got the Ultra Softs on. And remember, it's all important going out there to see what they can put on and put together this evening. Looks as though Vino for Real is also in this evening. Remember, he is a McLaren driver, but it seems as though he's been given the, I think it might be even. Let's just have a look which car it is. It might be, oh, he's been put in a Ferrari this evening, but he is representing the, that was a little bit slippy there. He is representing McLaren this evening. So he might be driving in the Ferrari, but he is actually representing McLaren this evening. Tix out on the track in the familiar McLaren, coming a force to be reckoned with, and he's out there as well, so great to see him. Dylan with us this evening in the Alfa Romeo, on board with him at the moment. I'm sure this is going to be a little bit tricky, and that it is. He's off in sector 3. I hope that was not the commentator's curse there that put him off the track. I think it's all about this weather, guys. Very, very difficult conditions, especially when it's raining around this track. So they've got to watch themselves this evening that they don't. And you can see, obviously, Dylan passing somebody there who's also lost it quite easily. So it's going to be, we have to probably look at changing these tires. They are out there at the moment, but let's see what happens. If he's going to go into the pits, no, he's not. He's going to stay out. So we'll have a look and see what's going to be taking in these drivers' minds, what they're going to be taking into consideration when it comes to driving these vehicles this evening. So here on board with Sackman, and looks as though Springbok Gamer, who unfortunately couldn't race last week. He got stuck in the pits. Obviously, the mechanics couldn't get that car out. Just joking there. Obviously, sometimes we have these problems with online gaming where it just doesn't register that he's actually there. A little bit wide by Sackman, but I'm sure he's going to be doing something about that as well. And then on with Timothy. This is Thomas. Sorry, here's Thomas on board with us this evening. Great to have him there. Oh, David puts in a 1 minute 46.664. And that's in the first session. So he's leading the leaderboard at the moment for this first session. Obviously 12 minutes to go. Remember, it's Quali 1, Quali 2 and Quali 3. There's no free practice on the South African Academy Online Racing. That's all up to you over the week. And then you come in for the quali. You can see how slippery and sliding here it is at the moment, so I'm sure they're going to be on tender hooks to keep themselves in the right position at the right time when they're coming around this track. Looks as though it is the Haas coming out, so that is Springbok Gamer. He's going to be on an outer lap. I'm sure he's looking at that compound, the wheel compound. It looks like Gav Pig is out, as well as Tix. They are both out of the session, so that's unfortunate. Hopefully in the second section they can get out and do something special, and I hope it's not going to be leaving it too late. They have to make sure that they get out there as well. So here we go, back to Devet, and Devet, he is looking to maybe better that time that he's just put on there. Nice bit of driving. We've got 11 drivers on the grid this evening, 11 out of 16. We have obviously some individuals just excusing themselves. We've had a bit of load shedding in South Africa. So load shedding, if you're not aware of that, is basically they switch off the electricity in certain areas for a certain period of time and then allow this obviously does give us some problems with some of our drivers because it affects them. Unheard of elsewhere in the world, but here we have load shedding. So we'll be looking to see if they can make it back into the driver's seat in a big way. Looks like, there we go. Looks like it was Staff who was slightly off the track there, but managed to keep that car together, so that's nice and well done from his side. So some of the times coming in now, and you can see some vast differences, and I mean, as I mentioned, very difficult under these circumstances when it's raining like this. So let's have a look and let's see what's going on with the guys here this evening. Big blister slide there on those tires from the Sackman. Unfortunately lost it, but he's still keeping that car going. I'm sure they're going to be going for the intermediates now. I mean, if that's not the decision to make. And here we go. You see the green tires? Those are the intermediates. And I think, whoa! Wise decision there. Looks like the front of that car pretty messed up. You can see there that was Dylan, unfortunately, trying to squeeze it around that corner. I'm sure he's going to take it easy, getting out of the way of the other drivers at the moment. But I'm sure he's going to go back into the pits, change that front wing. As you can see, a lot of damage caused there but I'm sure he's going to go back and change that at the moment. So we'll be watching carefully. Marius, nice to see you on board with us. Thank you very much. Unfortunately, Mr. LaRue, you're out because I mentioned load shedding, so you're one of the guys that are affected by load shedding this evening. And yep, how's it, Steph? I know you're on the track at the moment. Nice to have you with us this evening. And yeah, let's enjoy. Hi guys, enjoy the racing. I think that is truly the statement to make, and that's what they're going to be trying to do. Very difficult conditions, as I mentioned. Hopefully it dries up and we at least get some magic rounds around this track. And that was a little bit of a sliding session into the wall, so I'm sure he's going to come in. They're going to take care of business there. Looks like Vino for real pulling across there. And obviously I'm just going to leave you on board with some of the guys that are already out in the track. Let's go back to Springbok Gamer, and you can see he's come up quite nicely. And I think he's on the mediums, if I'm not mistaken. No, he's not. He's actually on the Hypersofts. So he's doing well. The pink tire. So if you're not too sure, the pink tire compound is the Hypersoft. And I mean, it's the softest compound they have, but it seems to be holding. And let me not speak too soon because it is quite slow for most of these drivers, but they are handling it. So we're on board with Springbok Gamer, who is in the Haas this evening. I think he's coming into the pits. I think he's had enough, and hopefully let's see if there is anybody else out on the track at the moment. And it looks as though we still got Sackman out there, so that's nice. Here is Springbok. Oh no, sorry, I lie. That is the Force India car number 41, and that is definitely Staffy at the moment. Still flying the flag very high for Force India, and a nice control, absolutely nice control there, keeps the car together. And funny enough, I think he's on the Ultra Softs, so he's handling the pace of this car. I think got some grip there, obviously down to the setup that he's using, and nicely done all in all. And then, all in all, this gentleman, Nesmax, nice to see you back in the driver's seat. You've been missed tremendously driving for Williams this evening, and unfortunately his teammate not here this evening, but we're hoping that he's going to be back soon. That's the Muna. And I think Nesmax back in the driver's seat. We've kind of missed you for a couple of weeks, and you've missed a number of races, but I'm sure you're going to make a lasting impression when you get back into the driver's seat this evening. So good to have you back with us there. Right, on board with Springbok Gamer coming out again. It looks as though definitely, it looks like De Wit, he is still... De Wet, man, stop saying that, you Engelsman, as they would say. But I can see he's still commanding the lead there on this first round with a 1 minute 46.403. So De Wet, nicely done from his side, obviously pushing it a while. So just 2.5 minutes left in this quali number 1 session, and we'll definitely see what is going on. So nice to see Nesmax back. He's already in 3rd spot, so he's locked in his position to race in the next quali session. And obviously, as I said, Devet on the top there, followed by Springbok Gamer, who's actually off the track at the moment, but I'm sure he's going to get back on as soon as possible. Then Nesmax, then Sackman. Nice to see Staff out on the track, putting that car through its paces. And then we have Dylan here with us this evening from Saga Racing. So nice to have him with us at the moment. So great driving happening all in all, and as I said, we have 11 drivers at the moment. I'm sure there's going to be some guys coming back and pulling it together and getting themselves involved this evening.
Не в Бонзе, день которого мы ждали. Это просто идеально ровно. Мы представились на столе, не в Копенхагене, не в Бонзе, атмосфера, праздник. Помните, что они на другой и до сих пор, пацаны, безопасность, это я на другой и до сих пор, пацаны. Мы представились на столе, не в Копенхагене, не в Бонзе, безопасность, это не атмосфера, праздник, день которого мы ждали.
So just to give you the updated status at the moment, it looks like Devet has a 1 minute 46.403. He did 7 laps in that round. Springbok Gamer only did 3, but he put up a 1 minute 47. Nesmax a 148, and then the Sackman coming in 4th place there with a 148. And then Vino for real put on a 149, Staff a 151, and then it looks like TNB Wesa, he put on a 152. And then there you go, Dylan just pulling into the garage at the moment, and he did a 158.582. So nicely done. 3 guys did not get out onto the track and complete 1 lap, unfortunately, but I'm sure that is going to change. So let's see who is in the next round. 13 seconds to go, and we'll have it all to play for this evening. There you can see the drivers that put on the fastest and the best lap, and there the gaps also indicated to you on who was where. So yep, all good and well. And let me have a look at something to see. Let's have a look at the championship leaderboard at the moment. Once again, you can see that it is definitely David. He is now standing a couple of points ahead of Weza and Wesi. They are falling. They have fallen behind, and it looks as though nice job from him, because he's now leading the championship in this particular race and round of season 3 at the moment. So nice job from him, and really great stuff. So let's see if he can dominate again in this race. He was 2nd place on the grid last week as well, so all good and well. It looks as though it is down to 10 places at the moment. Some of the drivers are in, still rain ahead at the moment. As you can see, we got 15 minutes, just under 15 minutes in this round, so I'm sure the guys are going to prep the cars up and get them out as soon as possible. So let's see what is about to happen in this particular round. So yep, we can have a see and go from there. Looks like Vino for real, as I mentioned, he is racing for a Ferrari this evening. I think there was a bit of a car selection problem, but he has, and he will be racing for the McLaren team this evening. All the points will be going that way around. It looks like Tix did not make it into quali number 2, and that's where we are at the moment, quali number 2. So hopefully they can keep it all together and get these cars around the track without damaging them this evening. Steph says I forgot the universal translator man. And I see somebody trying to attract international audience. Thank you very much for that. I'm sure it's going to be all good and well this evening. And Steph, Mr. Laggy tonight, as far as I understand. So we'll be looking out for that. It's all good and well. Nice comment there from, it looks like Muller. Says, if Dirk Burtis loses, I will kill myself. Please don't. It's a family show. And obviously what we want to do is make sure that you survive going through this one. So, all good and well. Thank you very much for your comments on the stream this evening. Nice to have the live audience, as always. And we appreciate that you are watching the stream. It's great fun. And we're in quali number 2, just over 11 minutes left of this qualification session to happen. And I tell you what, it's going to be out there. A lot of people still in the pits. I'm thinking they want to wait to the last particular seconds to get out there to see if they can put themselves in a position to be in the last qualification session number 3. So that will whittle down somewhat to see who's going to be taking pole here this evening. And let's see what happens there. Wow. Let's go on with Devet at the moment. Devet, you keep on saying it wrong, and I'm going to be pushing myself to make sure that I get that correct. There we go. There's Nesmax in the Williams. I haven't seen that car on the track for a number of times, but there you go. Staff manages to get a nice time up first time round. That's 1 minute 51.910. So that's great driving from him. Then Vino for real 152, and the times will be coming in quite quickly now. So, yes, it is round number 15 on this particular championship. I know I put 16, but in actual fact, I made a bit of an error there, so I will rectify it. It's round number 15 for us. Obviously, a couple of weeks ago, I had lightning strike the house 2 weeks ago, and obviously, I got a bit confused on which race it was. So I just want to rectify it. It is round number 15, and I will change the tags on all of the ones that I've done so far. And it's always great to obviously for guys just to poke me a little bit and let me know that I've got to obviously keep myself and my wits about me. So as I mentioned, this is race round number 15 of season 3 here at the South African Academy Online Racing. So Nesmax comes back in a big way there. You could see there a 1 minute 46.752, and then obviously Devet, he's on a 1 minute 46.806. So is Russia this evening, is this the track that Nesmax comes back and makes his mark and dominates once again as the champion of Russia this evening? So we'll be watching very close and very carefully on the top 3 currently. It seems as though obviously Weza, he's gonna come out soon. We don't have Wazzy with us, so I know that it's sometimes a little bit confusing, but I'll keep you abreast of who is who. And Steph, I mean, I'm watching you. You're not lagging as far as I'm concerned, but somebody said that he could see you lagging. I think it's maybe his stream at the moment, because I'm also watching the stream just to make sure that we don't have any errors, and you don't look laggy to me at all. So thank you for your comment. No, you not at all. I don't see you lagging, but I know that Mr. LaRue was mentioning that he was watching you lag in there. But anyway, let's get back to who is where and in what position. So at the moment, Nesmax leading. He's in the pits at the moment, and it looks like Devet, he's just pulled into the pits. I think he's happy with his second position. There we go, Springbok Gamer, a 149.290, and then you can see the 150s coming in with staff right down to it looks like Thomas, and as I said, we've got one individual looking to come out. Gav seems to be having some problems. I don't quite know what's going on there. I think he might have lost it again, but we'll see what's actually taking place. Maybe somebody can just give me a message of what happened there, and then I can let the audience know exactly what happened to him there. But we're on board with Springbok Gamer at the moment. You can see in his green and gold helmet that he's got on this evening, and that is his trademark as Springbok Gamer. So we are missing Devon, and we are missing Fricky. I just want to wish Fricky all the best. He was spending a bit of time in hospital, so we just send some good wishes out to Fricky. Hopefully he's watching this evening, and we wish you well, mate. We hope that you get better soon, so that we can enjoy you on the track with us again. I know that you haven't been too well, but hopefully everything is going well and you're healing, and you'll be as fit as rain as soon as possible. So just a big shout out to Fricky. Thanks very much for all the support. That is the Judge 013. If you're not familiar with who Fricky is, he was in hospital for a procedure, but I'm hoping that it's all well with him, and we send out a big shout out to him to get well and back with us as soon as he can. So on an outer lap at the moment with it looks like Dylan. Yes, we're out on the outer lap with Dylan. Sometimes these cars look very similar, so you have to be quite careful. So let's see how Dylan is handling at the moment. Looks like Vino for real is just retired, because he's just put on an amazing time of 1 minute 46.705. So he's just pushed himself right to the top of the log at the moment. So we'll be having a watch and a wary watch out for him, as he just put on an amazing time there. But as I mentioned, we're on board with Dylan, handling quite nicely at the moment, considering he's on the hyper softs at the moment. So yep, he'll be looking to keep it all together to get in a good lap time. And you can see a slight bit of sliding there, but I'm sure if he can keep both wheels on, he will be able to put on a time. So let's go through this lap with him this evening and see how he does. We'll stay on board with him at the moment to see where he ends up. Looks easy, but it's not. These cars have so much power that you have to make sure. And remember, this is a non-assist, so that might put him off, because you have to keep within the track limits in order to set up a time. So hopefully he can do that. And the problem is, you don't realize how fast you're going until you get to the corners. So let's hope he can keep it together now, at least to put on a qualification time for this qualifying 2 session. That puts him in 8th position. Does he qualify for the next round, which is qualification number 3? And a lot of you will be looking to see and saying, did he make it? So just to give you an overall perspective of who is where at the moment, definitely likes to come in there. And you can see up now on the position log is Vina for real, Nesmax, Devet is there, and then Springbok Gamer was in the place. So it looks as though we could maybe have a sunny track for this next race. No, it's not. It gives us rain again. So we got basically quali number 3, 11 minutes to go, and just over 11 minutes to go, and we'll have a look and see the positioning of where we're going to be at the moment. This rain is horrible. Dylan, I can only agree, but it is set on random, so there we go. It is, I thought it was. It's Mimo. Mimo, it's always good to have you on board with us. Thank you for coming. I thought it was you, but I didn't want to say anything until I just confirmed it, and Dylan has confirmed. Our international Greek from Greece is watching us, so thank you very much for that, Mimo. It's always good to have you with us, and it's always great to see you. One of the members of SAAOLR supporting his teammate, and that is Dylan as well as Marius, the two SAAOLR guys that come on and watch and obviously tell me off when I'm not showing their particular driver. So Not always good for me, but it is good for the guys that are watching the stream. So I'm going to be keeping you abreast. There's Vino for real, as I mentioned this evening, driving in the Ferrari, but is representing McLaren, as he is a McLaren driver. So I believe he couldn't get into his car this evening. So unfortunately, he'll have to just go with the red car. Just a little bit of understanding, how do we do it? Well, basically all cars are equal for the South African Academy Online Racing. Selection does happen in a very unique way. Basically what we do is we put everybody into a lot, and then we pull that lot, and then the guys get to race with who? We have primary drivers and secondary drivers, and then based on their times they get placed into specific teams. So driver ones are normally done in the lot, driver twos are giving us times, and then we slot them in as the driver two positions. So all good and well. It looks as though he's going to keep that car going. It is quite difficult because it is a little bit difficult under the weather conditions at the moment here in Russia. We are hoping for a clean race, and when I say clean, we're talking clear of rain. Hopefully that's going to happen, and all good and well. So nice to have you once again, and have you is nice. Let's have a look at Nesmax at the moment. He's now got to really pull it together and see if he can get himself up to pole position in this third quarter. It looks like we have looks like Weza. He's in 7th position at the moment, and it's a dry hole race. So that's great to hear that. Thank you very much, staff, for giving us that information. I was a little bit concerned because obviously the guys wanting to get themselves into a position of setting up that motor vehicle for a dry race. So that's going to be good and well. Here we go. If they haven't done any presets prior to the race, that's going to be a bit of a problem at the moment. So let's have a look. We're on board definitely at the moment with Springbok Gamer. He seems to be on an outer lap at the moment. Looks as though our pole position is going to be going to Nesmax. He's just put on a 1:45.054, and tell you what, nicely done. Devet comes in second. He was leading that top log for a second there at 1:46.489, and then nice to see Dylan come back with a 1:51.094. So I'm sure that's all going to go down for him at this point in time. Vina for real, still trying to put on a lap for us at the moment. Just under 7 minutes left in quali number 3. Wow, that is a time to be reckoned with. Oh my goodness. Looks as though Springbok Gamer is in 4th position with a 2:03. I think he obviously didn't make any mistakes, and that's obviously put him in 4th position at the moment. So is he still? Yes, he's still out there. It looks as though he's going to come back and push that time down a little bit more, and who knows what's going to happen. So let's have a look in the rain. If he can come back, that would be great. Oh, a little bit of a big wing slide there, but seems to keep it under control. So nicely done by Springbok Gamer, puts himself in 1 minute 48.493. Dylan still holding that 4th position at the moment. Looks like we still got guys in the pits, down to 9 drivers at the moment. Looks as though Tom is out on an outer lap, as well as Weza at the moment. So let's see where they can put themselves in the game. So as you can see, Nesmax now 1 minute 45, and then you can see another 1 minute 45 by Devet. Springbok Gamer in this, we're in qualification round number 3 with 1 minute and 52 seconds to go. And I tell you what, some great driving's been out there, especially under the conditions here in the Russian Grand Prix here at the South African Academy Online Racing. Wow, it's really been tough for these guys. All 3 sessions have been raining. It looks as though I've just had some news. It's all glory and sun for the main event. So that's let's hope they can all keep it together for that. Vino for real, trying to keep that 7th spot. Looks like the Sackman and Staffy out, not completing around, so they will fall in line there. Looks as though a last minute stretch for Vino for real, trying to make sure that he's going to get himself into the top 3. As I said, less than 59 seconds to go, and he's going to be pushing to see if he can keep it on the track and have a validated time. If he gets a validated time, that means it could push him up into one of the top spots. Is he going to do it at the moment? And look there, he's put himself at position number 3 on the grid. So great drive from him. With 30 seconds to go, he's managed to put himself in the right place, and that is just below Nesmax, Devet, as well as just above Springbok Gamer into that third spot, so he'll be carrying on. As I mentioned to you, 14 seconds left in this session. It's going to be a dry race, so I'm sure they're going to be preparing those cars. There's going to be a flick switch over to different setups. Hopefully these guys have got a setup for rain and a setup for dry conditions, and that will definitely come into play this evening. So if you are joining us via the stream, thank you very much. Big thumbs up to all of you. Hit that like button if you like what we're doing here at the South African Academy Online Racing. That would be great to have you on board with us. As I said, we've grown the viewership up. We have 91 members who are subscribing to this channel, so all good and well. We appreciate the support that you're giving us, and I tell you what, we want to try and hit 1,000 subscribers. That would be just great for us. I know, I'm humble if we get to that number, but let's see if we can do it here in South Africa. Remember, this channel is promoting South African online racing, and it's great to have you on board with us. Just a heads up on the events coming up on Tuesday nights. If you're a Gran Turismo fan, we definitely have something in the forefront for you in that. We will be obviously racing alongside TNB. Also check out the Gran Turismo South Africa group, online community group. You can find that on the PlayStation 4 is the group. Also, if you're looking to do something on Thursday nights, well, let me tell you, SAAOLR has the Formula C championships. Alternative weeks, they have the GT3 series. Last week, unfortunately, I had some internet problems, so I couldn't broadcast it. I was a little bit sad about that because it was the start of the season. 1 minute to go, guys, just for your information. And as I said, alternative weeks, that's happening. Then on Sunday next week, we're back here at the same time to bring you the South African Academy Online Racing. So all of the guys that I've mentioned at the moment are affiliated. We are one group supporting different events. However, we support each other. So just to give you an understanding, a really great lineup going to be happening this evening. Tix and Gavin back in. So let's see where they're starting off as a final for quali number 3. Just to give an indication, Nesmax on top of the log there. Then Devet. He is in second in the Red Bull Toro Rosso Honda. Then Springbok Gamer, he's in the Haas F1 team. Then Vino for real, he's going to be racing for McLaren. I know it says Ferrari, but he is a McLaren driver. And then you've got Weza, he is with Red Bull. So great to see him in all of it. Hopefully now we go to a dry race here in Russia. And let me see what is coming through. Yes, it is. So staff, thank you very much for that information. Great to see it's all dry, and I'm sure we're going to be having a look. Remember, we're going to go for a formation round first, and then we go into the race. They're going to be lining up the grid after the formation lap, and this is just to get their tires all sorted out. Everybody's logging in at the moment, so be a little bit patient because that is what happens. We're going to get them all lined up and ready to go. So that formation lap happening right now, and we just want to make sure that you're on board with us, and thank you. Always good to see. The guys are racing here, and you can see we've just done the formation lap. That's just to warm up the tires, get everything. You can see all the guys coming into position, and then it's going to be the big one to see who's going to be champion of Russia this evening here on the Russian Grand Prix. So all out and about, we're away, just flicking away just to make sure the 4 red lights are on, and they're going to be away. You can see a break, something, oh, it looks as though, it does seem as though we do have a slight incident on the racetrack at the moment. It seems as though Vino for real disconnected, but you can see now De Wit straight up there on, it looks like Nesmax into second position at the moment. It looks like Wezer comes in, a bit of hard braking there from Nesmax. He's down 1 position, and let's take it through here. It looks as though Wezer going a little bit wide there, coming around him. Springbok Gamer also in play at the moment, so it looks as though that De Wit has got himself in front of the pack, and it looks like Wezer in third. But this is not over. This is still the first lap at the moment. Doesn't seem as though there were any serious incidents. It does seem as though there was a bit of a drive-in right in the beginning, but that was because Vino has disconnected. So hopefully he can get back into this race. Springbok Gamer in 4th position at the moment, and it looks as though Tix is down, as well as Thomas is down at the moment. And I can see at the moment he's being caught there by, it looks like Dylan at the moment. Staff in 9th position. Vino for real is still in this race, but he will be ghosting at the moment because he is out of this. Gav Pig did not finish. Unfortunately, he's out. But just to give you 4 seconds off the pace at the moment is that particular driver we're looking at the moment. Here we go back up to Tix, and Tix is in 6th position. Sackman, he's catching Springbok Gamer at the moment. So this is going to be an interesting race for all at the moment. Just pushing our way up to Springbok Gamer. You can see there is a traffic jam in front of him, and I'm sure he's going to be wanting to get through that traffic jam. And I tell you what, all is good and well. Here is Wezer still on in 3rd position in this race this evening. Nesmax in 2nd position, looking for a gap there on De Wit, but he pulls in, keeps it tight, and no incidents reported. So he's keeping himself at pace with De Wit at the moment. So we have Waza. He is in 3rd position at the moment. He's about 0.08 of a second behind. Let's have a look and see what did they go for. What was the position changes at the moment? Yes, a number of guys moving up the log there. Sackman went up 3 positions, and Tix up 5 positions at the moment. So nice start from those guys, and I tell you what, great all. Let's have a look at the tires at the moment. So we've got Ultra Softs and Hyper Softs going around the track at the moment. Just to give an indication, the pink tires are the Hyper Softs, and the purple tires are the Ultra Softs. Looks as though De Wit put on some purple tires, which is the Ultra Softs. So he's done 2 laps on those at the moment. 27 laps are to go. 3 laps already done in this race, and you can see how close this racing is at the moment at the top of this particular roster group. So also, where is Springbok Gamer? Also not too bad, he positioned himself. He's 2 seconds off the leader at the moment, and then we start going down to 3 seconds here, and obviously that's a very long way on this track. So hopefully he can put it together, Tix, and get himself back up into a position where he could probably end up, because he's also climbing up the championship driver table at the moment. So the Sackman, a very consistent driver, looking number 15 he's driving on his car. Yes, he is racing for the Mercedes-Benz team, and unfortunately Voss did not drive this evening. That was his teammate. So here we go, back on to it looks like that's Dylan at the moment, and Dylan is losing a position to Staff at the moment. Staff looking to come in the inside of him, comes a little bit wide. He's going to take the inner side. So there we go, Staff ahead of Dylan at the moment. So let's see how he's going to come back. Oh, a little bit of a slide, brings it back, nicely done from his side. Obviously brings himself into the forefront. But what has happened above, right to the very top here, it looks like Nesmax has got through on David. Nice to see him back in the driving seat. Had a great holiday here in South Africa and now has gone back home. So it's good to see him racing again. Lots of effort being put in by him, and let's see where David manages to line himself up and get beyond Nesmax on this Grand Prix. We're in lap number 4 at the moment, and I tell you what, great shot of the cars from that position there. Also good to see that this gentleman is going to have to make a decision of how he gets around him. You can see he's closely being followed by Weza at the moment. So let's see what happens in this particular round. Here we go, Weza just comes past, he's up one position, and a little bit of a gap there, nicely done by Weza, comes through. You saw it on the screen there, got himself into a position. Devet nicely up on his rear end there, and I'm sure he's going to be looking for that opportunity. Obviously the Grand Prix, the live Grand Prix, the F1 Grand Prix is going to be starting very soon. A lot of cars being revealed this week, so if you are interested in F1, let me tell you what's going down. Please, if you are subscribing to one of the F1 channels, you'll know that they're going to be revealing the cars for the season of 2019 this week. So keep a watch out for that. I believe they're going to be revealing the car from Red Bull, who we're looking at the moment. A couple of changes made to the aerodynamics of the car to allow for closer interaction between the drivers. In other words, they can get tucked in behind the drivers now because of those aerodynamic changes. There's not so much of interference by the cars anymore, so they will be able to get up and pass each other. So that's great news for F1 2019 this year coming. So just had word from Vino for real. He's had load shedding, so thank you Eskom for that. His comment on the stream. Unfortunately, he's out of this race, so you'll see his car ghosting around. That's why he's sitting in 10th position at the moment. And then we have Tix in the McLaren. Yep, he's got a couple of drivers just ahead of him. So it looks as though he's going to be fighting for position number 3 at the moment. And as you can see, De Wet right in front of Tix at the moment. So let's see where he can get himself up and about. We'll push down into the onboard camera just to see where we are with him at the moment. As you can see, De Wet pulling away now. But just in front of De Wet is Weza. We can just flick to him at the moment just to see how far and what distance they are away. 4 seconds off the pace with the lead at the moment. So as you can see, Nesmax 7 making his way. And I tell you what, the prediction may be that somebody doesn't have to lose any more sleep over his position. So Nesmax old Dirk doing nicely this evening, coming back from his holidays. I think that rest has done him some good because he's really pushing it. And let's go on board with him at the moment, right out in front. No mistakes is got to be his ruling for this evening, but very nicely done from his side, bringing himself back into racing here in Russia this evening, and doing an excellent job as we're watching him in the 7th lap. He's done 8 laps on these tires, so very nicely positioned himself into getting out there in front of the pack and holding that position. So lap number 9, that's where we are here, lap number 9, and you can say Nesmax 7 leading this race, doing an excellent job. And then Weza, then De Wet, then Tux, Springbok Gamer. We go down the list now, and you can see there the sack man Dylan in 7th position at the moment, so that's very good for his season 1. As well as Staff, nicely done. He's in 8th position, so they're in the points this evening. Vino for real, he is out of this race, so disconnect there. Hopefully he gets electricity, can get back into the race there. You can see Thomas doing very nicely. He's also doing nice, 52 seconds behind though, so he's got a bit of a challenge ahead of him. Hopefully he comes back in a big way. So here we go, Sackman pitting. Let's see what he can do at the moment. He's going to be losing that position. Is there a nose cone? No, it's just for tires. Let's see if he can get himself out onto the track. Looks like Dylan is coming up in a big way. Could be Could he be taking over that position into 6th position? Looks like Springbok Gamer also pulled in at the same time. So Sackman, Springbok Gamer in the same breath doing what they needed to do. Here comes, it looks as though it was Staff coming through there. And yep, as well as Dylan. Dylan goes into the inside there. Let's see if he can get past. A little bit of a sway and a swiggle there, but seems to keep it all together. And there we go. Let's just go back on board here with Staff as well as Dylan, just to have a look at this close racing that's going down here. They've had that tire change, so they've managed to catch up with this bunch here. So they are pretty close together at the moment. There we go. Looks as though it's good and far between them at the moment, but I'm sure that gap is getting even tighter between these guys. Springbok Gamer in 5th position at the moment. The Sackman slightly behind, looking to see if we can get an opportunity to get past. If I look at Tix now, Tix is in the pits. He's out and out of there, so that's going to give him that advantage. But here's a close little bit of racing that we need to go on board to have a look at. And you can see there, let's see if we can hold it together, braking under, braking there, but it gets past. So there we go. Devet goes into on lap number 10 on these tires. He comes through, so it's lap 11. But he's done 10 laps on these tires and he comes through quite nicely there. So he makes a safe maneuver, which brings him into that 2nd position at the moment. So Devet comes in to the top spot now and leading this race, and 11 laps on these tires. So let's see what he does, because he did take the maneuver to put on the Ultra Softs, which did give him that advantage, obviously knowing that the Hypersoft tires were going to be playing an important role. In other words, they would be a little bit quicker, but unfortunately they would not last as long as these particular tires that Devet has on his car at the moment. So yep, that puts him a little bit to an advantage at the moment. But does it play into the hands of Nesmax as well as Tix, who's now taken that 3rd spot? Because now what happens is Devet has to go in at some stage to have a pit stop, and will that now affect it? And we have to see how much time will he lose. If he's there and he gets his guys to operate quicker, this means that he could still maintain that position number 1. But does he stay out? Yes, he stays out again for this particular lap. So interesting maneuver, I must say. Let's see if he can quickly pick up a time, because we are talking 14 seconds in all. Is now Devet gonna push himself and the cards are the limit, in other words, to keep himself in that top spot? Remember, 13 laps already done on this 27 lapper, and I tell you what a maneuver that was, just keeping in. Here we are on board with Staff at the moment, He's done just a little bit in there. He's on his own, so we'll be watching what happens there, because he's gone back one position trying to get hold of this gentleman, which is Dylan at the moment, who's sitting down in 9th position, and he's about 1 minute 18 seconds off the leader at the moment, so all good and well. Here's Thomas at the moment. He's also 1 minute and so many seconds behind. And let's see, Vino for real, not in this race, so it will not count, but he's obviously, his car is on automatic at the moment, so will he get by? Then we've got the Sackman sitting in 8th position at the moment, looking for that gap and opportunity to get by Springbok Gamer at this point in time, so let's see what he can do all in all. And then Springbok Gamer in 5th position. Here is Weza. Now the distance between the top spot and the second position is of the leader there, sorry, is 24 seconds. So it could be a strategic maneuver by De Wet to see where he wants to now pit, because he's not slowing down at all. He's still maintaining that amazing pace at the moment. 13 seconds, which means Nesmax 7 has just picked up the pace somewhat, because he's gone to 12 seconds. So from that 14-second lead, it's now down to 12 seconds. So De Wet has to make a decision on what he's going to do. Is he going to change those tires? Because he's done 13 laps in those tires currently as we speak. So, yep, it's all about this gentleman. Where is his positioning? What's he going to be doing? And let's have a look at the sector times anyway at the moment, because that's going to give us a clear indication of where he's going to be at the end of the day. So we'll keep the positions on so we can see where they are, and you can see Nesmax catching that quite quickly at the moment, putting De Wet up into that nice position. We're going to go on board with Staff at the moment, just to see where he is. He's looking to improve his times as well. Dylan down into 9th position at the moment. And there we go. He's coming through start and finish. So we go up to Thomas, who's slightly ahead. He's got Vino in his side. He's done 13 laps. The same amount of laps as the leader of this race at the moment with those tires. Vino for real not in this race at all, but here we go. Sackman, then Springbok Gamer, and this race is quite close between these two. I think they're having a nice bit of competition. Nice to see Nesmax just put up a screaming time of 1 minute 34. He's now got the track record for today, the fastest lap, so very nicely done from his side here this evening. And if we go up, here's Weza. He's pushing himself as well. Wes is also streaming on Twitcher. He's Twitch. Sorry, not Twitcher. Twitch. So you can also watch his point of view of him driving at the moment. That could also be a possibility for you as well. But let's keep it together. Let's focus on a 3rd spot at the moment. 19 seconds off the leader. And then Nesmax, you can see that time is catching up. He's done 3 laps on those tires. Does De Wet look for an opportunity to bring the car in and do that tire change? Let's have a look. Let's stay on board with him. Let's see what he does. So there you go, staying out on these tires at the moment. Didn't take the pit lane, so he's going to stay out. 14 laps done. He's looking for 16 laps. He's doing those tires an incredible amount of time on those tires. 15 laps on those tires. Lap number 16. Just over the halfway mark. Is he going to be looking now to take himself into the pits and then change those tires at the moment? This could be a decision he has to make in the next couple of laps. So nice little scrap going on here between Dylan and Staffy at the moment. Really trying to see if Staffy can get past here. What we can do is just go on board and see if we can. Let's go back, because here we go. Here's that lineup, just to see where Staff is at the moment. Looking to take on Dylan. Dylan pulls away quite severely there, and Staff looking to keep himself in this game and make sure he gets close to Dylan as much as possible. And I tell you what, Dylan is coming up to some traffic, so he's going to have to look at himself, watch where he's going to be, and then obviously push himself to see if he can keep Staff at bay at the moment. So nicely done from both these drivers. Good driving right there. And I tell you what, pushing it at the moment, because it looks like Thomas is just in front of him, and he's in 8th position. So I know that these drivers want to make the top 8, because that's where the points are. That's where the big points are. So we'll see what happens along these lines at the moment. Let's go back up just to Springbok Gamer. Seems to be having quite a little bit of a gap between him and Devet, as well as him and you can see just coming into the picture is the Sackman. So him and the Sackman having a bit of a tight race at the moment, but it looks as though he's starting to keep up with that. Thomas is down. He's had an accident. Let's go back to see what happened there. Could have slid out quite severely, but he missed the pit lane. That's what he was going for. Out of the pit lanes, he's now in, and obviously that puts him a little bit at a disadvantage. Here we see Dylan coming up on Vina for real. As I mentioned, Vina for real, Eskom load shedding, and he's not in that car at the moment, but I'm sure he's watching at home via the stream. And let's hope he can get back into the race. I see Mr. LaRue says my Telcom is alive. So great to see that, and great to see you watching this broadcast. So thank you for that. Springbok Gamer in 5th position at the moment. So no gaining from the Sackman at the moment. And it looks as though we've had a huge change at the moment, because Devet went in for that tire change. So he's just done one lap there. Looks as though Weza has come through, 13 seconds behind the leader at the moment. And then Tix in 2nd position. Great move from him. He managed to keep himself and his nose clean. Looked at the right strategy to change those tires and did so. And then Nesmax leading this race. He's done 6 laps on his current compound tires, and now lap number 18. So not too long to go, and this race is going to be done and dusted. So the Williams doing nicely, just pulling it together, and very nice from him at the moment. Back from his holiday in South Africa, back to where he is in the Middle East. So this South African showing what he can do. He's had a long break in car number 19 in the Williams, doing exceptionally well and coming through. So great to see him back and leading this race. This definitely will support him. He's on lap number 19. So basically just over and above where he needs to be. And there we go. Devet now putting on the fastest time of this race, and he's just put on a new fast lap, which overtakes it does overtake Nesmac's previous record on this particular track. So that's great to see that. Maybe I can get that up and about here to see who's done the fastest laps. There we go, fastest laps now held by Devet. So that's great stuff from him, and you can see the difference there. 135 from Nesmax and a 134 from Devet. So nicely done from his side. Where are the guys sitting at the moment? You can see the times, their fastest laps, just to give you an indication of where they are. Obviously they're not doing it every single lap, but I think consistency is where they want to be to ensure they get it going and keeping it real on those times. So nice job they need to be doing to set that going forward. So 7 laps to go in this race, and then it will be who is going to be the champion for this evening. Who is going to take this? At the moment it currently looks like Nesmax is going to be the guy to beat in this evening, or is it going to be him taking overall and top spot, and also the Grand Prix here in Russia this evening? Looks like Weza is out of this race. Unfortunately, his car seems to be out of this race, and it looks as though nose cone from the Sackman replaced there, but I think Weza is out. I don't know what happened. I'll see if I can see what happened on his Twitch account to see what happened, but hopefully I need to do that quite quickly, so let me go and do that, and I'll come back to you and tell you what happened. So yeah, we're back on. You can see Tix. Can't find out what happened to Weza. Hopefully he's listening and he can let me know what happened there. But yep, unfortunately out of this race. I don't think he's too pleased with himself, but sometimes that happens. He did 8 laps on those current compound tires, which were the ultra softs, and then out of this race. Nice to see now Dylan and obviously Staff up into 6th and 7th respectively, and that's great driving from them. Sackman up into 5th, Springbok Gamer into 4th position, and then obviously you've got the TNB of De Vet, which you can see right now on board with us, so we're on board with him. He's now coming up onto Tix, and this could be an interesting one. We're on lap number 22 of this race. Remember, we do 50% races, 3 qualification sessions, and free practice is for your own. And we're on the non-assists league. This is the esports league of the South African Academy Online Racing. So it's great to have you with us. If you are joining us, big thumbs up and like this channel. That would be great for us. And yep, as I said, promoting online racing in South Africa, that's what it's about. And that's what we're doing all of this for. Also to have lots and lots of fun. As I mentioned, this is the non-assist league. And we do have a number of leagues running. On Fridays we have the Turbo and Bullets. That's the TMB league, which is the assist league, and you can join that. You can get hold of the gentleman that's driving at the moment, which is Devet. And if you want to join one of those sessions, you can do, because that's where it's all happening. And they do 100% racing on Friday night, so lots and lots of fun. And you guys can get involved in that. And then we have this league, which is the South African Academy Online Racing League, where let me tell you, it's quite a difficult league because it's the non-assist league. Lots of people want to come and drive with us, but we have to set the bar and make sure that the guys can qualify to drive with us are all drivers that are suited with a non-assist application. So it's always good to have these guys with us, and we really appreciate the time that you guys take to support us here at the South African Academy Online Racing. So thank you very much for that. Remember, lap number 23 at the moment, and it's all good and well. So the guys are really pushing themselves to keep that. Springbok Gamer is also just been disconnected, I think. So I think he's just had a power cut as well, unfortunately for him, because he was in 4th position on lap number 24. So all good, but unfortunately he could have been disconnected at the moment, so a bit harsh from that side. So lap number 24 still. We're on board with Tux and Devet at the moment. You can see how close this racing is. Let's go on board quickly with these two just to see where they are putting themselves through their paces, and to ensure. Nice to see, by the way, Springbok Gamer sitting in 4th position, but I think he's been disconnected. Sackman in 5th there, Dylan in 6th. Staff in 7th there, Vino for real sitting there as well. So unfortunately he was disconnected. Done 5 laps on his current setup, but here we go on board. 13 laps done by Nesmax at the moment, and he's way up in front because these are number 1 and 2. You just saw Nesmax leading around that corner at the moment, so you can see there's a problem in sector 3. Not too sure who it is at the moment, but hopefully it's not a serious one. They've managed to get away with it, but you can see here lap number 25 at the moment. Just a quick reminder, if you are looking for us, please check out our Facebook page as well as our website, which you guys can be a part of. All you need to do is get online and you can find your way across to us. It looks like the vet, while I was taking you through that, looks like the vet has come through now into 2nd position. So it's going to put him in 2nd. Tux looking to keep himself together just so he can remain in that position, and you can see there a little bit of a challenge going through there, and then obviously Devet coming through. So nicely done from him to get himself into that 2nd spot. You can see way out in front at the moment. What actually is the leading time? 11 seconds at the moment from 2nd position. It's actually 10 seconds, 11 seconds on the third position. And then you've got that 53 seconds. So these guys have done an excellent job to keep themselves in the top position 1, 2, and 3. Let's go back down because this is almost the last lap. Here we go, on board here with Staffy. Just in front of him is this gentleman, who is Dylan at the moment, coming through at the moment. Here we go, Sack also looking in that position. Nicely done from his side. Looks like Springbok Gamer is out. Yes, he is. You can see he's ghosting there, so he's out of this race, unfortunately. And then up to Tix at the moment. Can they catch this gentleman in the last couple of laps? Now we're looking at the race leader, who's been on holiday, come back, and now is about to do complete lap number 26. Then he'll be going on to the last lap of this race, and we'll be on board with him, doing him justice. Nice to celebrate that Nesmax is back in the driver's seat. And I tell you what, Williams is coming back, and it's going to be an exciting championship to watch, because I tell you what, this is what it's all about. It's about clean racing. It's about making sure that championship is made. As we see Nesmax coming around now, and now we're going to be going into lap number 27, which is the last lap. So now we're into lap 27. Let's go on board. Let's see where he comes through. Hopefully he makes no mistakes. We can have a look at how to win this race properly. And if we do that by going on board with Nesmax at the moment, we can see the talent that he's put on this afternoon or this evening. And you can see exactly where he positions that car. Maybe what I can do is also just put on some telematics so you can see what the race leader has been doing all night this evening, all of this evening. He's been putting himself in a great position all evening, catching the likes of Devet after he had pitted. So it was just showing you the quality of the drive that's happened here this evening. It's been great to watch him come through and obviously take care of business. And as I said, I'm just putting on the telematics so you can see exactly how this course is driven by Nesmax, who's going to win this Grand Prix with ease this evening. Two turns to go, and this race is done. Second to last turn. Oh, yep, last turn. And there we go. He takes the checkered flag here in Russia. Nicely done by him. And let's go into, there we see, and here comes Tux. Looks as though that fourth position is going to be held by Springbok Gamer, so I don't think we're going to give that position away. It's not his fault he had a disconnect. And does he take that fourth position? I think he's also had some Telkom issues this evening. A lot of the guys taking that Telkom issue with no electricity. Here is the sack man. There they are. Just behind him, though, is Dylan. He's one lap behind. Holding up Staff at the moment, who moved up a position from where he was. So nicely done from his perspective. Don't know what happened there. But Staff takes sixth. Sixth position. So guys, Thank you very much. There are the trophy holders. On top of the podium, you can see car number 90 from Williams. And yes, there's the trophy being handed over to Nesmax. Right next to him is Devet. And then obviously Tux coming in third position. So great drive from these drivers this evening. It's been great having you on board with us. Thank you for joining us for the stream. And we'll see you next Sunday. Don't forget, during the week, go to our website, have a look at the calendar, have a look at what's available. Lots and lots of information on our website giving you all the details. There's the final result. Nesmax, Devet, Tux. The Sackman moves up to fourth. Dylan, Springbok Gamer moves down to 7th position now, and that is because of some penalties, but it does give an indication of who is who, and all done and dusted for us this evening. So thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time on the South African Academy Online Racing. It's been great having you on board. Thank you very much for joining us. Always good to have you with us, and we'll see you next time here on the South African Academy Online Racing. Remember, there are the website as well as the Facebook page. Get on there, have a look, join us. You can also see down in the description below, you can find these there as well. So just click on through, and you'll have you up and running soon with us here on the South African Academy Online Racing. It's been a pleasure this evening bringing you all of the great entertainment that we've been able to do. Thank you very much for joining us. As always, guys, it's always a pleasure to have you on board with us. And I tell you what, join us for race number 16, and I'm going to confirm that. And you can join us next week here on the South African Academy Online Racing. Thank you very much for joining us. God bless and have a good evening. And it's been great bringing you all the action here on the South African Academy Online Racing.